Thank you, Dr. Basalira. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I join Dr. Basalira in appreciating you in joining us this morning. I'm happy to mention that at the center, we continue to support entrepreneurship, as Josh indicated, in the different pillars. And let me also mention that entrepreneurship is what defines our nation. In Uganda, entrepreneurship is not just a career choice, but it is the heartbeat of our economy. We are known globally as one of the most entrepreneurial countries with a 30% total entrepreneurship activity, as indicated in one of the global entrepreneurship monitor studies. But let me also say that it's not easy to run a business in Uganda. It's been documented that many businesses that are started struggle to survive and thrive. And today, we're just here to talk about what really gets you to continue running the business when things get hard. Because running a business is not just about having a nice product or providing a good service out there. It's about managing the different challenges that come with running a business. You are navigating regulatory issues. Then you also have to manage fuel prices, managing staff. It's not very easy. And so we now need to talk about what is it that keeps you going, which is beyond the strategy that you have put in place, beyond the skills that you've acquired. What is it that that allows you to continue running the business? And we are honored to be with our guest speaker, and this is none other than Miss Lucia Tibahwinura, who is the director of St. Lucia High School in Fort Portal. I first read about her years ago when she was running the Trend Setters Salon. And then I recently came across a video on TikTok when she said she quit that business and then started a school. So it is managing is also about being able to pivot and say, let me move from this and then do that. And so she's passionate about educating students in a safe environment. And she's also been very active in renewable energy technologies. She's very happy to join us this morning. And I would like to thank her for making time to be with us this morning. Lucia, you have 40 minutes to make your presentation. And please know that we are very excited to host you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Diana. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so blessed and privileged this morning to join you. My name is Tibahwinura Lucia Alinda, Impaka Moti. In Toro, we have Impako. I am a mother of 4. Last year I turned 50 years, and I've been doing business. I became an entrepreneur, I would say by default mode. Growing up as an orphan, my dad died when I was 5 years old, and life dramatically changed from having everything and having not much. So I watched my mother struggle. I remember when I was 9 years, my mom used to make bread. And as I speak to you, my mom is around. She used to bake bread, and I would go and sell the bread at the railway station in a little place called Kabogori. So for me, I was frustrated to see the people she used to send cheating her. So one day I stole the basket, went, sold it, and she gave me chibokos for going without permission. But inside of me, I wanted to be there for my mom. I wanted to provide so that I can make sure that we are all safe. So growing up, things weren't smooth. I had this inner desire, and this is what we need in business. What was my purpose? I wanted to make sure that we were comfortable to have education. I wanted to make sure that we're able to have food. And I wanted to make sure that we could be able to get clothing. So when I started my small business, I remember the first room was in Grand Imperial Hotel. They were shops in 2000. And then later on, I was able to go to the bigger malls, to Garden City, then to ShopRite, Entebbe Road. I did the salons, I did the little shop at as Angelo Jewelers at Garden City. And then one day I came across a training, and that training was sponsored by, I think, IMF. They were targeting women in business, and we were trained by Enterprise Uganda. So I remember I asked the people, the panelists, they was like, what are you going to show me? I've started from zero and now I have 3 branches paying about $6,000 in rent. What are you going to teach me? And I remember very well, Mr. Chichi told me, I'll teach you what Harvard has not taught us. And one of the things they taught me that time was how to build an investment vehicle. And I was really keen to know, what is an investment vehicle? Then they taught us that you can use your business to invest in something that will grow over time, and then you can liquidate it and then invest into your passion. I literally took that and I started running. I learned about basics of keeping records, learning to pay myself a salary. But every single morning is a fresh day to go and just give it your all. So I knew it was not a common thing because business is not straight. It has dynamics. There are slow seasons, there are peak seasons, there are tough seasons of rent. But I was so determined to make sure that I kept going. And because for me, survival in the business world, I didn't have a choice. I burnt all the bridges. I had no way out. I just needed to survive. So inside of me, I created a little sanctuary. And every business person needs to have a little sanctuary inside of yourself because business is spiritual. When you wake up every day, you should be protecting that inner sanctuary whereby no negative thing or statement or weather or economy, when the inflation is high, when things don't seem good, do not allow that to sink inside and say, I can't make it. Find room to say that I know I'm created to succeed. I know this will pass and I'm sure I'll be able to make it. So doing the salons, what I first did was to go back to school. I studied cosmetology during that time so that I could understand the business of the salon because it was very frustrating when workers walk away. They hold you hostage. And sometimes they don't even let you know in advance that I am moving. So it brought me frustration. And I asked, what would happen if I went and I studied cosmetology? And then I was able to do this business. So when I studied, things changed. I started training. I trained my young sisters. I trained the workers who we had who seemed loyal. And then my business thrived. When it thrived, that's when I started investing in buying plots of land in Arkwright. Arkwright at that time, Mr. Anatoly Kamcha was selling a plot of land at 6 million shillings. And I remember him telling me I was the youngest investor at that time. So when I started buying those plots, they helped me to get a document to show in the bank. I remember my first loan, I was able to give them a card for my vehicle. I didn't have a title. So I used that card of the car, and then they were able to give me 4 million shillings. I went, worked with it, paid off the loan, and then my business kept growing. So I came back and I got another loan of 9 million shillings. Out of the 9 million, I bought the plot at 6 million, and then I invested the 3 million back. Now, when the business started doing well in the salon, I said, now, what can I do other than just doing people's hair? So I decided to wake up at 4 in the morning, go to a window, get these people who are coming from Nairobi with secondhand shoes, wash them, make sure I put a little display when someone is doing their hair, I am able to sell them some shoes. And then later on, I started going to Nabugabo. I started seeing other business people bringing very nice bags. So I added on other things a client could be able to go with. Now, that journey helped me every year to get a plot. Now, those plots, I managed to start going now to big banks. I remember the first bank I went to was Centenary. Now, then I could get my first big loan of 15 million shillings. Now, getting 15 million shillings helped me to open up another branch. because I was having enough stock and I was able to go to another branch. However, I was running around and I was getting tired. So when the opportunity to train came, I sat down and I said, okay, what can I do? What do I love? What could I have done better? I remembered vividly that the school I went to, I studied in senior one. I went to a different school here in Fort Porto. It's called Mpanga Secondary School. But in senior two, I went to Navmali High School up to senior six. Now, being that I'm from the West and I went to a school in the East, I was never visited. I only got a visitor once. So I desired to have a school where I could go and take my children, a school which could have enough food, whether someone had pocket money or didn't have money. I desired to have a school where I was safe. And I remember I had a lot of energy growing up without a dad. You know, girls with their dads. I longed for that love of a father's love. So I was like, how do I nurture teachers whereby we support children who could be in the same situation I had? So my dream came true after they told us you can keep that land. Then one time, loan your new business venture this land. Meaning whatever I sold to do this business was a loan. And I'm working very hard to one day pay back. I have not yet been able to pay myself back. Why? Because Mr. Chichi, during my mentorship programs in Enterprise Uganda, told me very well that I had to make a choice. A secondary school takes 15 to 20 years, and I've been able to run, this is my 13th year. So if it's taking 20 years, but at the moment, I'm already breaking even, and I am not on a loan. What do I do? Enterprise taught me two things that I have carried on. And recently I met Mr. Chichi after 15 years, and I reminded him what he told me about the backward and forward linkages. And this is what makes us struggle in business. What is a backward and forward linkage? A backward, forward, and forward linkage is whereby you look into your business and say, who are my suppliers? How much of my money are they taking? What can I do about this so that I can also make money? Not that I give all of it away, at least I get back 50%. So I created, one of the backward linkages was uniform. Why should I buy uniform from someone else? Why don't I make it? So I went to Chiembe and I bought machines. I got a tailor. I started making my own uniforms. Then I said, what else am I losing in the school? I realized that buying matoke was expensive. So I started a garden of matoke. So the school doesn't have to buy matoke. We just get the matoke from the garden. Then my mom supported me by bringing my cows. In the Wanyankwere, when you're getting married, they give you cows. So she brought my fuss of 12 cows. And since then, those cows have kept supplying students milk at the school. And it was such a joyful moment when she came with the lorry and the students were able to see she was bringing the cows. And my firstborn son was studying in the school. I remember her telling me, let my children drink the milk. So the cows came in and then we added on goats, meaning we don't have to buy beef. We can work hard. We go with the students, work on the farm, and then we reward them with maybe 2 goats or 3 goats, depending on how we have worked on the farm. So they know that it's a reward, it's not an entitlement. So I created the backward linkages behind me, and then I left out 2 areas for scholastics. I didn't have to invest in scholastics because there's a good supplier, and that one has so many things. I didn't have to do that. Then something else that I had to do was as I was constructing, I went to study child and adolescent psychology so that I could bridge the gap between the student, the parent, and the cooks. How do we create a safe learning environment? That helped me understand my clients, and it helped me keep my mind sober and focused, to have boundaries. In business, you need boundaries because boundaries meet you at the point of purpose. Once you know your goal, not everybody knows your goal, but it's these boundaries that keep you from meandering off your target line. Now, my target is to create a safe learning environment. If students want to couple up, if students want to be engaged in early promiscuity, does that add to my value? No, it does not. So what do? You have to tighten up security. Now, understanding the business in long term, those who are going into schools, it is a service. So it is not something that you can go and scoop money immediately. But if you waited 15 years or so, when numbers grow, then you can scoop out and be able to reinvest. So along the way to support myself, there are other things I started doing to support my income. One of them is the renewable energy technologies. I make cook stoves. Most holidays, I'm engaged in making cook stoves. And this came out of an opportunity I got and got training in. There was an opportunity with the Mail Project, which was a consortium between SNV, Private Sector Foundation, and Makerere University SEDAT. And they were teaching us about renewable energy technologies. And I was one of the few women who succeeded. My application went through, and I really took time to learn everything about renewable energy. And to me, it was just not an opportunity, but it helped me see the gap in my area, whereby most of us were cooking in kitchens which was full of smoke, and you find that you're coughing, it's not comfortable. By the time you serve food, you have a headache. So when I did a renewable kitchen, I was so excited, and I wanted every woman to cook in a good environment. And it turned out into a business opportunity. So right now I do bigger cook stoves for institutions, and I do small ones for families. Now, the question was, what keeps me going? Number one, I have invested in my mental health. Mental health is very key in business. You need to be calm when you're making decisions. You need not to be moved when the weather changes. You need to have your goal, keep it there. That's why I started saying you have to have that sanctuary. Thus, once your goal is strong and solid, no one can talk you out of it. And the other thing, I was not lucky to come to an incubation center like you have. And actually, the next time I visit, I request that I come to and see how it looks like. Our time was, I was trying out things. And sometimes when I made losses, I used it to make a lesson. Why did I fail? I think customers, to me, once you said no as a client, it was feedback for me to change course by a little degree. When a client turned me down, it was research. Why? And then I went back to be better. Since that training, about 15 years ago, I have been faithful and diligent reading at least a bare minimum of 20 minutes every morning. Business, every day we grow. Clients grow. They can outgrow you. So you have to keep focused on how you can work hard. And then learning how to do residual income. As I grow old, I just mentioned I'm 50. Right now, I'm doing a project I'm doing a project in tourism, something that I can enjoy in my later years where I no longer have to run around. I know I love cooking, I like good food, and I love organic food. I have the food, I make it. How about I do tourism whereby my food comes directly from the farm? So that's what I have done. And that is a project which will not demand that I run around. And I just hope that it can be a blessing in the near future. We'll be opening it this year, I think in 3 months' time. Now, this one will help me to support me in my later years. But the school still runs and the cook stoves run. Now, this project of tourism could not stand on its own. After selling the last plot in Arkwright during COVID, the last plot I sold it during COVID, I was able to put it all onto this business for the cottages. However, the details, finishing a tourism thing needs a lot of detail. I had to go and do the eco stoves as a mission to come and complete this business. So in business, we have long-term, medium-term, and then short-term. Having some extra income coming in from a short-term project, which you can use to make sure you finish your long-term project without investing in loans. Why am I not investing in a loan? It's because the inflation rates are quite unstable. The interest rates are very high. And when you're starting up a business, it is not healthy to put in to put in money from a loan. It is very good you liquidate your asset and you start. Then I can now bring in a loan when I am doing things like promotions, when I'm doing branding, because I already have clients. I will have observed walk-ins, I will have seen it stabilize. So when they were teaching us in enterprise, I learned that my capital was not cash. Many people are given startup capitals, but it freezes. So for me, what I knew was my real capital was my mind, my brain, because when they were defining what is capital, it was in Greek, it meant my head, capitas, what is between your two ears. How do I invest in how I think? How do I behave? And it costs you because there are friends who you have to let go for you to stay on course. There are people who will not believe in your vision. And sometimes you don't even have to tell many people because they do not see your inner world. That's why I said business is spiritual. And sometimes people will rob you and tell you, like in our language, no one has done that. Who do you think you are that you're going to do this? Just protect your space, your emotional, mental well-being, and just keep telling yourself, you be the strongest voice. Every day we hear so many voices. There's social media. There are people who will talk into your life, but can you be the strongest voice? Can you be your number one cheerleader in your business? Can you go back every evening and have a moment, like I spent 10 minutes of gratitude, things that I'm very grateful for, things that I have achieved in that day. I'm so grateful for the gift of life. I'm so grateful for wisdom. Like this morning, I'm so grateful for you, Dr. Diana. Thank you for inviting me to this great for this great opportunity to share. So gratitude is the number one engine that pushes you into a vibrational space. In business, there is what we call low energies. There are people who drain you, but you need to have a higher vibration whereby you are positive and things just flow. You go into a zone. Now, in that inner space, in my inner space, you are peaceful, you are calm, and you are intentional. Let every business have a purpose. Be meaningful. When you are raising people's children, when you are serving them food, give them the best. When you look at the posho I feed children, imagine I'm in Fort Poto, but I'm getting it from Mukono. Green Pulse brings the posho all the way for me at St. Lucia High School. Why? People's children should not eat food that is contaminated. Make sure you are intentional that whatever you're giving out is good. Do not shoot yourself short in giving things that are not good, because business is a boomerang where the good you put out there comes back to you. You may not make the profits immediate, but you will enjoy good health. You'll have peace of mind. You will see your business sailing. Do not research, give quality, whether people are watching or when they are not watching. Be your own, just check. Like in school, children don't even have to look at the food. I eat the food, I'm the first person to check. What happened today? The food is not as good as this. Can we do this? No child can ever complain because you are passionate. So if every business, I sent you a picture, Madam Dr. Diana, and I was showing you the cottages. I've made them out of stones. And this is the history I would like to put out for my children. Now, look at water. Gentle as it is, it can shape a stone. I get these stones on our road from Kasese. They are rivers that bring round stones. Now, every time I go to that river to collect stones, I'm inspired to know water is gentle, but it can shape a stone. Our attitude can shape our destiny. So it's very important in business that you have the right mindset, the right attitude. Don't give up. Believe in yourself. You're the first investment. Not the rent you're paying, not the structure. You are the investment. Your mindset should be given priority. Once you are positive, once you do things and you get inspired, you become unstoppable. Because when my children ask me, Mommy, you love the round stones, I say yes. You see how hard a stone is, but it can be shaped by water. So now that comes down to my key take, like I'd like you to take home, the compound effect. If you keep doing good every day, and you keep showing up and improving on a daily basis, I can guarantee you in 1 year, you'll have done a 365 turn in business. Just wake up every day and just improve. Read good books. You are so blessed. It's my first time on this platform, and I loved everything that they were putting up. The lessons were very good. Make sure you take this to the next level. If I got such an opportunity, I do not know how my business will be. Because for me, I did not get any formal training. I've just learned on the job. They call it juakali. So I believe the attitude has really kept me. Now, what happens when you're in a society or you're in a community that do not know the dream? Your dream could be so big inside of you. What do? Don't mention everything. Take one step at a time. When people tell you, this is not how I want things to be done, things have to be done this way, identify where you can bridge the gap. Like for example, in our school, we don't wake up children at 4 to read. In business, you need to sleep 6 to 8 hours. If I have to sleep 6 to 8 hours, why would I make a student sleep for 4 hours and expect them to think? Now, in business, we also need to have a peace of mind to be creative. In this era today, it's how creative are you? Creativity helps you to sail through the weather storms of business. There are days when the turn up is low. Like if you don't have the budget for marketing, how do you survive and say, I'll make it next year? How do you maximize every opportunity you get? So for me, every single day is a day to give it my all. Wake up with the right attitude. Remember, the big engine is gratitude. Gratitude pushes you from 0 to 100% positive vibration. Now, since I told you business is spiritual, it's very important that you align. Alignment in business means this, that what I am telling you and my actions and what I believe in and what I read are in alignment. Immediately you say something and you do something different, you'll start getting stress. So many of us in business, if we do not do the right thing, now I've just told you the quality of posho. You have been told, like I was taught about aflatoxins. These are toxins that affect the posho if they grind it in places which are not hygienic. Have you ever gone to these places where they are making posho? You go and look behind there, you'll find dirt. When it rains, so now that you've been told don't do it, now you're doing it, it will cause you stress because there is the mind. The mind operates at the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. So for you to stay focused, you need to invest in mental health so that you are in alignment. And the business must be able to bring good to everyone. Bringing good to your client, bringing good to the people who will come after you, and bringing good to the community around you. How do you keep going when things don't work out? Keep the vision. Don't give up. Just know tomorrow, as long as you're alive, the God who gave you that dream will help you accomplish it. God will help you accomplish it every single day. And this, I'm sorry to mention, it makes you cut out It limits you how many friends you can have. Don't just allow everybody to be your friend. You start to choose. Because some people look at you, all the energy you have, they may not understand you. But when I know that what is inside of me is bigger, it's going to change my generations. It is going to change. Can I be an inspiration to my children? It is going to change my forefathers. And I am here to be the first billionaire in my whole generation. Like I never found a billionaire in my generation. How do I break that? It means it changes with how I behave, who I meet, how I spend my time. One person will say, how do you run around? And I have all the energy. As long as you are aligned, then you are able to execute and still give back to the community. For example, there is something you have to learn to give and expect nothing. There is something I give that I go to the radio station here in Fort Porto. It's called Jubilee Radio. Every Sunday, I pay for an education program. I give them psychosocial support. I encourage them. I speak life into them. I talk to them about how they should raise their children. I pay for the program. I research, I read, and I present that program. You can't imagine, give back to people who you know will never give you. Pay people, give something forward. And when someone calls you and saying thank you, encourage them to do good to someone else. Encourage them to do good. Business is a boomerang. Once you are blessed, look for something that you can give back into. Because we are created in such a way, we are givers of life. We are givers of hope. And what you give grows. And another thing we have to be very careful today, most businessmen are very careful not to be addicted to substance abuse. But there are many of us who are not sleeping. There are many of us who are not exercising. There are many of us who are not sleeping enough. So you find we work so hard and we get the money and yet spend all the money chasing back to get back our health. These two things must be invested in both. Exercise even when you don't feel like it. Every single day, do something that will make your heart pound. Even 5 minutes is good. Even 10 minutes is good because the body will start demanding for more. Let's clean up how much we watch social media. Many people will go there to do business. Like after that little video went viral, for the first time, I was able to open up a TikTok account for St. Lucia, and people called me. The people who took the video kept telling me they want more videos. And then I was like, oh, so that's an opportunity. How about I create? I always go out. I always do radio stations. I reach out to the communities. Why don't I put what I do on TikTok instead of keeping selling them what I am doing? Because they've begged me, they are coming back, they want to do more videos. So the whole point is that there's always an opportunity in everything. And the other most important thing, Dr. Diana, is for us business people to stay grounded. The house I lived in 20 years ago, I've not upgraded. The car I drove 17 years ago is the same Toyota Noah I still drive. Don't upgrade your lifestyle, upgrade your asset base. And that's where people, like even people in my community were shocked to see the story. They're like, oh, you mean all along? You mean because I'll still live the same simple lifestyle? You see, when people invite you for these big wedding meetings, do not be the first one to give millions of shillings because you never budgeted for that. Give your time. Go and work on the wedding. Tell them I'm available to come and help maybe in the kitchen or cleaning up. Of course, they will not want that. They will want cash. But did you budget for that extra? Find the causes that you believe in, the charity that you should give to that aligns with you. For example, why would you align? You're doing business. Why do you align with luxury? Someone is going to spend 100 million on a wedding, and yet they do not even have an asset base that brings in 10 million a month. Yet you could sit them down and tell them, you know what? Let's use 70 million to start a business, and we wed using only 20 million. and they will look at you like you've lost your mind. Now, another thing you need to guard about is your mental health. I ended up studying psychology by default because I was doing things not like other people, and I was told that I had lost my mind. That's how I went to a renowned psychologist in this area called Reverend Father Dr. Pasco Kabura. I was told that I am sick, so I went to invest in myself. And then he told me, the way you dress, you're putting in overalls, you're putting in gumboots, and you're driving prisoners, and you're making bricks, because nobody had known that I'm making bricks for building 32 classes. So I spent 2 years making bricks. And when they would find me dirty making bricks, they would say, Charlie, this girl, Rain Mad, she came from Kampala and she's here making blocks. So for those 2 years, people used to think I lost my mind. That is how I went to study psychology by default. I thought I could go and heal myself, only to discover that the way I behaved was different from how people are behaving. So your business, I do not know which business you are doing. Go and research about it. Do not let your employer know, or your employees know more about your business more than you. You cannot be advised by someone below you. Read so much. Consult, hire people who are smarter than you to consult with. Always reach out to people who have succeeded. For example, for so many years, I went to Mr. Kafumbe Davis, the head teacher of Seta High School, and he offered to me to be my chairman board for so many years. I went to him to learn about administration. I went to him, I went to different schools to see the aesthetics, the beauty. And then Mr. Chichi told me, make research in 50 schools before you set up your school. So in SETA, I learned about the way they were teaching. And then there's another school in Namgongo, I learned about food. They were eating very well. And then from the Sudiri school, I saw the beauty outside, the colors. So when you make research in the industry, you're able to sit down and make your own unique, beautiful, you get ideas. You get very many different ideas. Research, 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 and read every single day. Now we have phones which can store up to 1,000 books. There are WhatsApp groups where you can join, where people read books. They are free. You can buy these little books where you read.
Hello, Lucia. Hello, Lucia.
Yes, yes, doctor.
This is Edith, your host. I would like to request you to summarize.
I think I have given most of it. Maybe if there are some few questions, I'll be glad.
Summarize in the next 2 minutes, then we go to Q&A.
Yes. So for me, I just want to thank you, Dr. Diana. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share. It's been such a grateful opportunity. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Madame Lucia. Thank you so much for a great presentation that you have made. Indeed, around this topic of the will to continue, we couldn't have got any other person to present it. You've done it so well. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experience of the will to continue in a very, very short time, but you've done a great presentation. We have learned a lot. We've picked a lesson. You started the business early when you were young, and you had passion to help your mother, to help and see the survival of family. You've told us how you started. There is need for desire and passion. You started with the running shops in different places. Then you moved to the salon, especially after the training you had with Enterprise Uganda. And you learned a lot from there. You've also emphasized to us that business is a spiritual thing. So we need to put our mind clear. The mindset is very important. So you need to get it clear. You also told us you need to build an inner sanctuary if you are doing business, so that it keeps you going. You need to keep alert and do a lot of research about the business you are doing so that you know your business, you know the areas, and you are able to handle and satisfy your stakeholders. You talked about how you've taken advantage of the backward and forward linkages and how you've made things cheaper because you've gone to the backward and forward linkages. I know people who are logged on here have learned a lot, and I would like to invite Mr. Josh Karuhanga to help us handle Q&A. Josh, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Edith Pasari. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are audible.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to take us through the question and answer part of today's session. So we're going to do this in 3 ways. The first way is to raise your electronic hand on Zoom, and you'll be given permission to unmute and ask your question directly. The other way is to type your question in the chat, and the third way is also to type your question under Q&A of Zoom. So any of these 3 ways, you'll be given permission, or your question will be read out. So I'd just like to thank today's presenter for the session, and also let you know that in the chat there's a lot of appreciation for the session today. Thanking you for what you've given. Someone, Eddie says, the key word is business is spiritual. That is something that he has taken away. James says, thanks Amoti for sharing your journey. It's been a rich submission indeed. A healthy body is critical while creating wealth. Humility, giving back to community. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to ask your questions. One question is coming in the chat from Dr. Komunda, who is asking, how do you give back to God for all those, how do you give back to God for all those blessings? Maybe we can start with this one question, and then as we wait for more to come.
Thank you very much, sir. I think, how do we give back to God? Like one thing we mentioned about when you're doing business, you give it your all. You know, with our work, he says he'll bless the work of our hands. Whichever person that you're going to encounter today, can you give the best? Because every day people see God in you. Every single day, you could be the only Bible someone reads. And of course, depending on your religious background, there are different needs. For example, for me, I reach out for children who have no parents. Then there are those who have parents who don't actually have.
Thank you so much. I also just want to highlight that currently now I'm just showing some of the images, some from the school and some from the clean cooking for the viewers who are watching. I'd also just like to say, yes, there's still more appreciation in the chat. Everyone said it was nice to hear from you. And then we have a question from Sheila Kasuja, who asks, please indicate the location of your school. And secondly, I am a regular listener on Jubilee Radio, and I would like to know the time your program airs on Sundays. I'm going to share 2 more questions, then I hand it back to you. I hope that's okay.
Every Sunday, the program is on Sunday night from 9 to 10.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, and she was also asking for the location of your school as well.
My location, I'm in Fort Portal. I'm in Rengaju Parish. When you start off Kijura Road, that's where we are located.
Thank you so much. There are some more questions coming in the chat. I'm going to read for you too and hand it back to you to answer. You're welcome. One comes in from Michael, who asks, how does one get out of the hard situation when you want to start a business, but surely there is no capital and there is nothing you can do to bail yourself out? So that's one from Michael. Then another one from Ruth. Okay, she's thanking the center for inviting you and talking about how she has given great inspiration. So there's just that one question for now, and I'll read the next ones when they come.
Wait, how do I get out from the hard starting up, the mindset is very important. You know, once you're determined, just like they say, when the learner is ready, the teacher appears. The fact that you are ready, now, that's when you can't imagine. Once you're ready and determined, the way opens up. That's why I said business is spiritual. Where you don't expect it, it happens. Just keep focused, keep looking, and keep believing. The way will open. There is something that says that seek and you'll find. I'm assuring you, you'll get it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see I'm also sharing images of the school as well, so that you can put visuals to everything she has been saying. There's another question here from Dr. Edith, who asks, how many students do you have at St. Lucia High School? And also continues to ask, how do you get the students in your school?
We have mainly been getting students. We've been getting students by word of mouth. But now that we are reaching out and seeing the communities, I hope this year I'll be able to do more marketing, because my budget for marketing has really been very small. When you keep putting it back into the school, like I said, the schools whoever is coming into schools, it is a service until it grows and overflows. That's when you'll be able to start scooping out. So for now, I want to be honest with you. In the last, I think from when it was 3 years old, now this is our 13th year, we have been breaking even. In our culture, they say numbers, like when they have cows, they don't mention numbers. But when you say in business, once you break even, you're able to pay your obligations, the business is okay. It's running.
Thank you so much. And on my end, I had a question I wanted to pose to you, because as I was listening to you, you talked about how the students, you emphasize them getting the right amount of rest, and that will make them more productive. And I just wanted you to elaborate on the kind of differences you've seen in your students with that shift.
The fact that we close business by 10 o'clock in the night and we all go to sleep, and then the students resume at 6 in the morning and classes start at 7:30. The children are happier. The students are more focused. You do not get things like fighting. They have no mood swings. In the afternoon, they are able to go and do exercises. They play, they do sports, and then they eat well. So that helps us to have a very peaceful school, very peaceful. You don't have cases of children fighting. You don't have them being chaotic, because the kids are well rested. And the creativity, when you talk about projects, these I sometimes bring them and I show them what is happening. So when they are doing their own projects, they want to come. And they are very happy, because every child has to have their own vision. What do they want to become? And take something I would like you to take as for your children as well. I was teaching them the other day. Every Wednesday, I'm with students to give them the psychosocial hour. Now, I was telling them we do not become disciplined when we are old, and discipline is not an overnight thing. We build discipline by repeating things that we are not comfortable with. And they were shocked. You don't wake up and you're disciplined. Discipline is a repetition of things and obligations we are supposed to do. Even in business, we need to be disciplined.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that answer. There is a hand now from Dr. Diana. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Lucia, for powering our day. Very, very inspirational. And I'm glad that you made it. So I also know that there's a large number of private schools in this country, and I imagine Fort Portal has a number of private schools. I wanted you to share about what makes St. Lucia unique. What makes it different?
I think what makes St. Lucia different is it's a school that I would, first and foremost, I have one son and he has studied his 6 years in St. Lucia High School. And immediately he finished senior 6, I sat him down and I said, now you've had basic education in this country. Can I be able to pour into you and we do a short course that can help you to start learning to do business before you are old? I cannot let you go spend 4 years without you starting. You need to start making mistakes, financial mistakes now. Every business, not everyone is going to succeed immediately. There are some financial decisions we do and we make mistakes. Like a baby, you fall down. But what is important, pick yourself up. As I speak to you, in his first year, he did carpentry at Uganda Matters University. Now this year he's starting up electrical and solar wiring, but he's already making money from his carpentry and he's going to pay for himself. For me to sit him down and tell him, in this economy, we've just become a city. For us to do well in this city, you must be either a service provider or you must be a producer of a good. So he has to produce good furniture for him to start making money. And you cannot get a skill overnight. For him to be the best carpenter in the next 10, 15 years, he has to start now. And because we are planting a forest, he'll be able to know the value of every tree. And he's going to be 24 this year in March 19th. His birthday is soon. So if we have children, we need to bring them on board and they start making mistakes that we made earlier on, which our brothers, the Indians, do. You find them working with their children. So it's a good thing that we let our children learn early, make their mistakes, learn on the job. All of us who are doing business, there are errors that no one prepared us for. So you bump on something, you pick yourself up and keep moving.
Thank you so much for answering those questions. I've seen we've gone beyond time, and I want to thank everyone for the questions you've asked. And thank you also for ably answering all of them. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day. I'd like to hand it back to Dr. Edith Basalira.
Thank you very much, Josh Karuhanga, for managing the Q&A. And I would like to appreciate Madam Lucia for a great presentation. Thank you for interacting further with our participants and teaching them to learn more on how to improve and keep the business running. I had posted in the chat that I'm in the same business. I also own a school, a private school, secondary school, and I've learned a lot from what you are doing in your school. Thank you so much for creating time and having time to come and talk to us and indicate to us how to keep moving, the will to continue being able to achieve your passion. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Josh, check for me if principal is on. Hello? Somebody
Yes,
was speaking? Yes, Josh?
Yes, Doctor. I think Prof just jumped off.
All right. If principal is not there, I would like to appreciate and thank everybody. Madam Hope, Jemima Kasimbazi, if you are still logged on, I would like to appreciate you for attending always the sessions, and like to request you shortly after now to give closing remarks if you are still logged on. Madam Hope, Jemima Kasimbazi, we appreciate you. Thank you for always keeping with us, and thank you for always attending these sessions. If you are on, Josh, kindly allow Madam Hope Kasimbazi to unmute and she gives closing remarks. Josh, is Madam Hope still on?
Yes, Doctor.
Can you enable her to unmute?
Yes, Doctor, I have.
Thank you. Madam Hope, go on, please, if you are able. Maybe she's unable to give closing remarks. Allow me to appreciate Madam Lucia Tibahwinura Amoti. Thank you, Amoti. Webale munonga. Thank you for a great presentation. We have learned a lot, and kindly appreciate next time when we invite you. We'd like to invite you to come and talk to our entrepreneurship students at Makerere University Business School. You encourage them in starting businesses as early as possible because you started yours early. We'd like to appreciate you very much. Thank you for finding time in your business schedule to come and talk to us. We've picked a lot, we've learned a lot, and this will help us to have our businesses continue, to have our businesses run and be able to succeed. I would like to appreciate you so much, and also to appreciate everybody who logged on this morning. Thank you for finding time in your business schedule to start your Thursday with us. We look forward to having you again next Thursday. I would like to end it here. We appreciate you all. May God bless you. Have a blessed Thursday. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
You gotta get up. You gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you until you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show them, baby. You gotta show them the real you. You gotta give them what you've got. No, don't let them see what you're not, 'cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. What do you do when you can't let go? What do you say when you just don't know how you feel? And you know nobody knows how you feel. 'Cause everybody's got their own damn problem. So everybody's trying to find their way. And day by day is a struggle. In this world, you know you have to hustle. Just know that you're not alone. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. Now listen, people will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art. Bet you didn't think you'd come this far. Now here you are. Baby, you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you.